Hey Dub, this is Dave Decide. Today I want to get into people talking about Coldplay or Chris Martin's reaction when Jin got his send-off today from the military. We need to talk about a leaked clip of Jin getting his haircut and people are saying he's not happy. We also have some backlash with Billboard. So hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Wherever I've been influence, hey Spilling Mug merch, and let's get into it. Billboard is yet again under backlash. Billboard has mentioned in the past how they don't like the obsessive voting or album buying, whether it's them trying to fix this issue with a semi-result of racism against Asian artists, or if it's just an adaptation of the time is a different issue here. But it's something that a lot of foreign artist fans do to help the artists, but all it does is screw up the numbers so people can't actually have a real metric on what is popular or not. While BTS is 100% popular and has global impact, there's studies of a lot of K-pop artists that do have high numbers but don't actually have any impact on pop culture, or if the numbers in album sales are just inflated to make them look bigger than they are. The job of these charts is to reflect that impact. Now keep this in mind that this is the goal of Billboard. It doesn't mean they will always implement that well, or the method in which they are trying to get to that goal ends up actually working. With any company, it's run by human beings and everything is trial and error. No one can really in this day and age create a method that is completely foolproof with no flaws. With that being said, of course BTS's numbers are going to be disturbed, as Billboard's biggest issue seems to be allegedly with the group's numbers. There's been articles questioning BTS's impact and how a lot of people know of the group but don't know any of their songs, and of course questioning BTS's impact in general. I would argue and say these numbers are skewed because there's definitely a lot of people who know BTS's music, and if it was a collective of 1,000 people who love BTS's songs and then no one else knows them, how on earth were these thousands of people able to contribute so much money to the boys that the boys contribute 1% of the South Korean economy? Like, that shows you it's millions of people buying and supporting the boys. There's no way the number of real fans is low. So now you can see both sides here. You can see how Billboard is confused about BTS's numbers because of articles and debates about BTS's impact, and then you can see how armies can be frustrated with how BTS is being portrayed in the media as not impactful group when they are. So of course, with the recent news of Billboard announcing their charts, it was seen that BTS had placed number 47 on the charts, and this was after armies had mass streamed and bought things. And apparently now BTS has just disappeared from the top 100 or top 200 or whatever the accusations are. There's several reasons the stream could have slowed down due to Jin enlisting, or the fact that BTS just hasn't been as active as a group, so obviously people are not streaming their music as much. And then just the normal cycle of how much is calculated. The charts are not updated in real time, like by the second. They are updated weekly, and usually they will recalculate the previous week or month's numbers and show that. This is a big reason why you can see an artist on the chart for a week and they literally disappear completely the next week. Like, it can seem strange how you're not seeing a slow decline from 47 to 60 to 100 and then gone, but it's not updated in real time. Another theory could be because they saw a mass amount of new streams due to Jin enlisting, so it went the other way. And Billboard just wanted a moment to verify the numbers, so they took BTS off. And of course, my theory is that there has just been a mass amount of people streaming Christmas songs these last few weeks, so the charts have actually just been songs from classic artists and Christmas songs from decades ago. It could totally be possible for a group who is not active right now to fall off in this scenario. Of course, all of this is just a theory. I can neither verify what placement BTS was originally at and when they were removed or whatever it was, but I was shocked to see the amount of people quick to jump on this hate train towards Billboard without knowing the validity of whether or not these claims were real. People were using the hashtag #BillboardCorrupt and spamming the CEO's Twitter to get him to respond. This is too much, and really just there's so much other things going on right now with BTS, and they would like your support, and this is not one of those issues they care about right now. BTS just posted an OT7 group photo of them all at the military camp. They were all saying goodbye to Jin and sending him off, and we got several reported videos and live streams of when BTS entered the camp, and there seemed to be ample security, so that definitely was good. The Jinsters seemed like they were able to have private send-off with his family and the other members, and it seemed like it was nice. There was a lot of drama surrounding the photo that they posted, and also rumors of who was there and who said goodbye and whatever. Starting with the photo, the second photo that BTS posted was a photo of all the members touching Jin's head. There isn't any issue here, and if you're not an avid K-pop watcher or familiar with Korean culture, it can seem like he just shaved his head and the members thought it would be funny to touch it. Apparently other groups like EXO had done it, and then BTS was accused of copying them or whatever, and even conversations the fact that BTS must have seen EXO do it and then liked it and decided to copy, which is totally fine if they did. But there had been other Korean people who had come out and said that this was a tradition that was long done by several Korean people. I can't confirm or deny, I can't really find articles supporting that, but for sure there have been other Koreans that have done this. The issue with a lot of K-pop fans is that the nature of K-pop is that you support one group and your entire life must be dedicated to that one group. This isn't something any specific group tells you to do, but is largely encouraged, maybe slightly by the label, but mostly you get shamed within the fandom for being a multi-stan person. So if you want to be a fan of a group, you must only like them or get shunned by the community. The issue here is that the knowledge in which you have of the world is through this one group and whatever they post. So if you see EXO posting this ball touching thing, you had no idea previously that this was something maybe other groups had done too. You think EXO invented it. I had previously also ran into an army on Twitter who thinks that BTS was the only group that had ever thanked their fans at award shows. Literally every artist does that, right? Another rumor was if Chris Martin from Coldplay had anything to say to Jin as Jin left. Of course, Chris knew about Jin's enlistment and the exact date before armies did, and even well before the media did, and maybe even before Big Hit did, because when the media leaked that it was December 13th, HYBE claimed that they didn't know 100% yet. So Chris was really one of the closest people to Jin before he went. And so people believe that Chris might have texted Jin and made a call to wish Jin goodbye. It's totally possible. However, Chris is currently on tour, I believe though, so he might not even remember, if we're going to be honest, as he might be so busy. I can't tell if I have toxic friends or if the friends I have are normal, but most guys don't remember much unless it involves them. And even then, they don't. Like, none of my guy friends really remember my birthday, and they struggle to remember the birthday of someone they're dating too. So I wouldn't expect someone to remember a big life occasion for me, and that doesn't really affect them so much. Because I don't think Jin and Chris hang out every other day. And perhaps at the very least, there was a text. A text Jin might not be able to see until he gets his phone back. But this is just a rumor. Going back a little bit, when Jin posted his initial selfie of his shaved head, he left a comment saying that it was cuter than expected, which to me implied that he was scared to do it and scared it would look bad, and possibly even sad to go to the military. Well, a leaked clip came out from who knows where, but it could have been a Big Hit staff or military personnel, we don't know, but they were standing close to Jin and recording him getting the finishing touches done to his head. People were saying that Jin looked so sad and depressed, and some say that this was Jin's way of begging not to go, and that he must have been so depressed over losing his hair and all that. He could very much be sad in this clip, but the rumors are just rumors, because we really can't tell much from this clip. What if you didn't know the context of the military, and I told you that this clip was of Jin finally getting his hair shaved after really wanting that, and this was a brand new concept for his new album? You would write that he seems so happy and so at peace, because the actual face Jin is making in the video is not really much of a reaction. We just feel or think he must be sad to go, and so we see the video as depressing and he is trying to hold back emotion. But he really could feel nothing in this particular moment we are seeing. I was excited to see that there were a lot of netizens online that were saying that they felt sad, but it was hard to be sad because he actually looks really good. And I am sure if Jin reads those comments, he would be happy. That would cheer him up for sure. I'm a bit concerned over who took the video and leaked it. Luckily, it was nothing bad or too private, and obviously Jin probably knew it was being recorded since the phone was probably right by his face. But definitely weird where it came from. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.